let's get right into it. We had 500 laps at Martinsville. Brad Keselowski came out and dominated the entire race. Where does this rank on all-time dominant performances with you guys?
I don't think you can call this the most dominating performance. We talked about earlier a little bit that at Martinsville, one slip up and you'd have had the 9 car. It was already barking at your door the whole entire time. 9 car probably would have taken the lead and maybe won the race. I don't think it was exactly as dominating as we've seen other races, but a heck of a performance by Keselowski.
I would agree with you, Alex, because we talked to Brad Keselowski after the race yesterday. He said if Chase Elliott would have gotten the lead from him, he would have driven away with him. He thought Chase probably had the better car yesterday, despite what was a dominating performance from the 2 camp. So I think we could have seen a different race if Chase Elliott had gotten in front at some point and been able to keep that. So for that reason, I would say maybe it wasn't as dominating as the stats are saying it was.
I am going to go against both of you guys. I'm going to say it was because leading 446 of the 500 laps at Martinsville is a huge deal because of how grueling of a racetrack this is. I mean, this is the most dominating performance we've seen since Martin Truex Jr. led 392 of 400 laps at the Coke 600. I would argue this is just as dominating or even more dominating because of how grueling Martinsville is, because it's super tough on you mentally and physically. You have to be on your game the whole time.
We've had races before where drivers have led from front to back, so I think when you're stacking it up against that, no. But when you take into consideration, I kind of side with Chase more here, simply because it's a short track. It's probably the toughest place we race all year long in terms of just physical demands on the body and making sure your team has to hit everything perfectly on pit road, the radius of pit road, so you have to be on your marks every single point of that race. And the fact of it is that, I mean, he led as many laps as he did. It was pretty dominating. I think Chase had a good car, but I think Brad had a little bit left in the tank.
I completely agree, but the 9 car did have the lead, and then the 2 car got it back on pit road with an incredible pit stop. Do I think that it's the most dominating performance by a driver, period? No. Martinsville is extremely taxing. They talk about the cramps in the legs and how tough it is to ride the brake and the gas the whole entire time. You're constantly on your mental game. Yes, completely agree. But do I think that as a single driver it was the most dominating performance? No. As a team, probably.
Well, and that's the thing. It's an impressive performance. I'm not taking anything away from
I
what
agree
Brad
with you on that
Keselowski
point.
did. It was an impressive performance, but I'm saying as a single driver, like Alex said, I think with Martin Truex Jr.'s Coke 600 win in 2016, there wasn't really anybody that had anything for him. So I think that's what made that, for me, a more dominating victory. Not maybe more impressive, but more dominating. And we saw last year at Martinsville in the fall, Joey Logano led, I believe, 309 laps to get the win. So it's not unusual, I guess, to see somebody dominate Martinsville like that in recent years.